What's up, motherfoxers? Alright, man, we're gonna talk about the old pirate hooker. I've been driving it for a while, so let's get into what's been going on. Alright, that car's got 1,000 miles on it now, and it had 725 on it when I put that new roller block into it. I had to drive Black Sunshine Monday, Tuesday because the problem I got this belt issue on here. And the belt is just slightly too big, but the problem is I cannot for the life of me find a belt that I can put on that car and tighten up. The messed up part about the whole thing is Black Sunshine's got a 79.5-inch belt on it. It's got the same pulleys as that car in the same configuration, and that car 79.5 is way too small. I have an 81.5-inch belt on there. Figure that one out. Pulleys are all the same, man. It doesn't make any sense. The bracketry I got on there for a tensioner is the alternator bracket with the turnbuckle. I got that on there simply because I hate the stock bracket. I think it's absolutely atrocious. It's ugly as shit, and that's why I don't have it on there. So I went and bought an 81 1/16 belt, and it's too small. I cannot get it on there. I can turn the turnbuckle out a little bit more, but if I do that, I'm risking ruining it, right? And that's exactly what happened. I mean, I turned it out so far, and it ruined the threads on the end of it. And those threads are reverse threads. And the funny thing about them is they don't match anything on my checker I have here. None of them. Not any of them. Metric, SAE, nothing. There's some weird thread count or thread pattern. I have no clue, man. It just didn't work. So you can't just buy one of them things, so you have to buy a whole new bracket. So I bought a whole new bracket for like $30 just to get that thing. So when I got that, I decided to take that smaller belt that I had and put it on and realize I have underdrive pulleys. You know, to make things smaller, you get a bigger, with a set of underdrive pulleys, you get a small alternator pulley and a small crank pulley, but a big water pump pulley. Can't put the big water pump pulley on to fill the space because it interferes with the crank pulley. I put them on there when I first was putting that car together, and I didn't like the way the bolts fit on the crank pulley. I just didn't like it, so I took them off. So I just took the underdrive pulley for the alternator and put it on there, and I had to move a clamp on the thermostat housing. I had to move it out of the way so I could shove the alternator all the way down, and I got that smaller belt on there, and now we're about midway on the tensioner, and I don't know more belt squeak. So, and that was just the most annoying thing. Every time you started that car, it'd sit there and squeak for I don't know how long until, you know, it stopped. But we got that fixed. The oil leak is basically non-existent. So I said that it was leaking oil there by the dust cover, and I took it for a harsh run, you know, trying to, you know, get those rings to break in, going 3,000 to 4,000 RPMs on the highway, and it came back and it was leaking. But when I drove it normally, it didn't. It hasn't leaked any oil. So apparently it was because of that harshness that I did to it. It was just like, what's going on? And it kind of pissed itself, you know. So I started thinking about it for a minute, and I'm like, what's new in this car and what hasn't been changed? Everything is new. The only thing that isn't, the crank. I said, is that crank frickin' worn out? But now that I've been driving it for a few days and there's no oil leaking out of it, we don't have to worry about that no more. There's no water leaking out of it or anything like that. I've driven it for 3 days to work, and like I said, I now from 725 to 1,000 miles, just over 1,000. So that's what, 275 miles I put on that car, and it's been doing great, man. It's been doing really good. It's running good. There's no more. I love that. But there is a few things little things I got to do to it, like that stupid ignition wire on the radio is just, oh my god. That radio is so cheap that there's so much noise in the ignition wire for the antenna, the power wire for the amp. It's so bad because every time you crank the engine, you hear it through the speakers. I mean, bad. I mean, through the woofer and everything. It's all boom, 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 boom. So, thinking about that, I need to take that wire and just not hook it up to the radio. And remember, with that PDM that's underneath the seat, it comes with filtered ignitions. So it's clean ignition. So I'm going to reroute that to that PDM. So hopefully that stops. That's one of the things I got to do, but this is stuff I'm not worried about right now. The other thing is I got to replace the dome light door switch on the driver's side because it was bad. And it would have been easy to do except when I pulled it out. And as soon as I unplugged it from the switch, all I did was unplug it just a little, just unplugged it nice and easy. And when I let go of the plug, it just fell. Like literally, it must have had tension that I didn't realize it and just fell right inside. So I'm gonna have to tear out my whole kick panel to get that thing to put the new switch in. I gotta find the dome light cover. That's another thing. Just little things, man. I need that radio swap thing from 417 Fox. That's a pretty good chunk of change I'm not worried about right now because, I've been, dealing with some other stuff here. And there's, that's what I'm working on right now. But I thought I'd stop for a minute, take a break, and make a video about this. But I went to Lowe's with that car last weekend just to get a tool for my truck, and I came back out and the car wouldn't start. We couldn't get it started. It just would not effing start. It would just crank and crank and crank. It wouldn't catch. It was like not getting spark. Didn't understand it. My dad came over with some tools to see if something happened to the PDM, like one of the switches went out, and so I removed the seat. All the fuses were good. So I got in, I'm underneath the hood looking around trying to figure out. We don't see that it's not really sparking. And I noticed on the oil fill neck on it, I have that vent tube for the oil vent tube. I just have a piece of like short gas line on it, just kind of venting off. And it is spewing a little bit of oil. And right there by that is the plug for the distributor. So I think it got oil soaked. He had brought some brake cleaner with me. That's all I had. So I just unplugged it and sprayed the shit out of it with brake cleaner, let it set for a few minutes to evaporate, plugged it back in. The car barely started, and I was able to get it back home. I cleaned it up a little bit more, and now the car's starting fine. And there is the underdrive pulley on the alternator. Of course, it's red. The set were red. That's why I took them. But there is the new belt on there. And of course, that turnbuckle thing is only halfway instead of almost to the end like it was. And then I got a little creative with this. Since there's no such thing as a one-way oil catch can, at least I haven't found one. There's two-way and three-way, two for each of the valve covers and one for vacuum, I think, from the three-way. So we got high tech. It rained, so there is some water in there, but yeah. This is keeping it away from the distributor plug. See, this thing was right was right here, and the strimmer plug is right there. So we got it just venting into here. And of course it's red. It's ice, sparkling ice water. It's Starburst cherry flavor. By the way, that tastes exactly like Starburst. So help yourself. Go get one. They're pretty good. So there you go. There's a little update on the old hooker. That car is running really good, guys. No leaks, except for the power steering pump, but that's just been an issue since, you know, it's an issue with any car. with any car from that era, and the power steering pump, it's just it needs a new one. And if we put a new one on, is that one going to work? We don't know. That's the only real issue with it, but it still drives, still turns. It's good enough. You know, it's been a reliable daily for me so far. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give an update on that. And the oil leaking thing looks like it's pretty much solved itself. So, all right, guys, thank you. Later.